Welcome to Echoes of Empires, where we bring you the greatest stories from history's greatest empires. And today we recount the tale of the Ottoman Empire. Specifically, we're diving deep into Episode 6, the Ottoman Interregnum, Survival and Rebirth. So let's get started. But before we start, remember to smash that like button if you want to see more videos like this. And now let's dive into the past. Last time, the Ottoman Empire suffered a catastrophic defeat at Ankara. Sultan Bayezid was captured. The empire disintegrated, plunging into a period of chaos known as the Interregnum. Timur had withdrawn, but he left behind a fractured Ottoman state. Bayezid's sons, known as the Ozads, began a brutal civil war, each claiming the sultanate. The young princes had legitimate claims. Bayezid had been famous for his harem of women, and he had plenty of sons to make rivals. Two of his wives even claimed descent from Genghis Khan and Timur himself through their famous founders, but they also claimed descent from Osman, the legendary founder of the Ottoman Turks. This gave them legitimacy in the eyes of the faithful Muslims who saw the Ottomans as God's chosen dynasty. The interregnum lasted 11 years and devastated the empire. The Ottoman heartland was completely destabilized and turned into a battleground for the ambitious princes. It took a Herculean effort by Mehmed, Bayezid's youngest son, to restore the Ottoman unity. He managed to defeat his three older brothers, restoring order and defeating outside threats. After 11 years of devastation, the Ottoman Sultanate lay broken into pieces. Vast territories had fallen under the control of rival princes and warlords. In some areas, outside powers had intervened and seized Ottoman cities and provinces. With the empire fragmented, the road to recovery seemed daunting. Yet amidst this chaos, one prince emerged, a young man named Mehmed, who displayed remarkable capabilities in statecraft and warfare. While his brothers faltered, Mehmed made significant strides in securing the allegiance of Anatolia's beyliks. These small Turkish principalities held great importance because they controlled key trade routes and had fiercely maintained their autonomy during the Ottoman rise. Winning their loyalty back would be essential to rebuilding the empire. Mehmed didn't just secure alliances, he built lasting partnerships. He married the daughters of the beys, creating powerful bonds that went beyond mere diplomacy. These strategic marriages ensured that potential rivals would become allies, bound together by family ties. And while the struggle for the throne continued to rage, Mehmed found an unexpected ally in Venice. As the Ottoman civil war intensified, the Republic of Venice recognized the danger posed by the continuous strife. They sought to stabilize the situation for their own security and prosperity. Venetian influence in the eastern Mediterranean was substantial, and preserving peace in the region was crucial for their interests. Thus, they extended an olive branch to Med. This alliance marked a significant shift in Ottoman politics and set the stage for the restoration of the Ottoman Sultanate. With the support of Venice and his growing network of allied beys, Mehmed was ready to take the next step. He prepared to march on Constantinople, the capital of the Eastern Roman or Byzantine Empire. Located in what is now Istanbul, the city was a symbol of Ottoman power and prestige. Restoring control over Constantinople was not just a matter of prestige, it was a strategic imperative. The city's economic and cultural importance was immense, and regaining control over it would be a pivotal moment in the empire's recovery. For Mehmed, seizing Constantinople was a personal mission. It represented the heartland of Ottoman territory, and regaining control over it would demonstrate his supremacy over his rivals. Yet the path to victory was fraught with challenges. Musa, one of Mehmed's brothers, fiercely defended the city, making it clear that he intended to claim the throne for himself. The Ottoman civil war was far from over. The conflict between Mehmed and his brother Musa would determine the fate of the Ottoman Empire. Musa had fortified Constantinople, turning it into a stronghold against Mehmed's advancing forces. However, Mehmed was undeterred. With his forces closing in on the city, Musa knew he was trapped. There was no hope of reinforcements arriving in time to save him. Realizing his fate, Musa made a desperate gamble. He sent a letter to Venice, pleading for asylum for himself and his family. The terms of the Venetian-Ottoman alliance stipulated that Venice would protect the Ottoman royal family in case of defeat. Musa hoped that Venice would honor this agreement, ensuring his safety and potentially paving the way for his eventual return to power. As Musa awaited his fate, the Ottoman army under Mehmed's command laid siege to Constantinople, the once proud capital, which had stood as a beacon of Byzantine culture and power for centuries, was now under siege. The walls of Constantinople, which had withstood countless attacks throughout history, were being pounded by Ottoman artillery. Day by day, the city's defenses grew weaker, and eventually, Mehmed's patience ran out. On April 13, 1421, after a 5-month siege, the Ottoman forces breached the city's defenses. Musa's hopes for asylum were dashed as the Ottoman Sultan entered Constantinople in triumph. The long Ottoman civil war was effectively over. In the aftermath of the siege, Musa's fate hung in the balance. Despite the pleas sent to Venice, Mehmed showed no mercy. He executed Musa, ending any potential threat from his brother once and for all. With his rivals eliminated and control over the capital secured, Mehmed began the arduous task of rebuilding the empire. He worked tirelessly to restore order to the provinces, reassert Ottoman authority over the Balkans, and heal the wounds of civil war. To accomplish this monumental task, Mehmed turned to the very people who had aligned themselves with Venice during the darkest days of the civil war. He offered them amnesty, granting them noble titles and positions of power within the empire. This act of magnanimity aimed to bind the former enemies of the Ottoman state, emphasizing that their loyalty was to the empire and its revival, not to any particular faction. Through these skillful diplomatic moves, Mehmed successfully restored central authority. After 11 years of devastating civil war, he had reunited the empire and established himself as the undisputed ruler of the Ottomans. The question now was how to secure his gains and propel the Ottoman Empire towards greatness once again. The first priority was to reassert control over the vast territories that had been lost during the civil war. The Ottoman armies, once symbols of strength and expansion, had been depleted and demoralized. Rebuilding the military was crucial to projecting Ottoman power and deterring external threats. Mehmed's strategy involved a combination of force and diplomacy. In some cases, military intervention was necessary to re-establish Ottoman rule. In others, strategic alliances and marriages were sufficient to secure cooperation and prevent rebellion. Anatolia, the heartland of the Ottoman Empire, was the focus of Mehmed's initial efforts. Cities like Bursa, once the Ottoman capital, and Edirne, a strategic hub in the Balkans, were key targets. Retaking these cities not only symbolized Ottoman authority, but also provided administrative centers for governing the provinces. To solidify his rule, Mehmed embarked on a series of diplomatic missions across Europe. He reached out to various rulers, including the kings of Hungary and Naples, as well as the leaders of the Italian republics, Genoa and Venice. The purpose of these missions was twofold. Firstly, it was to gain recognition for his sovereignty, and secondly, to establish peaceful relations. Mehmed's goal was to secure the empire's borders, ensuring that external conflicts would not distract from his internal rebuilding efforts. These outreach initiatives were successful, leading to the formation of alliances and treaties. One notable achievement was the renewal of the commercial agreement with Venice. This treaty, signed in 1423, ensured the continuation of important trade routes that had been disrupted during the Civil War. By fostering positive relations with European powers, Mehmed I reduced external threats and created a more stable environment for the empire's recovery. So ends our tale of the Ottoman Empire. Stay tuned for more exciting adventures, and leave a comment below sharing your thoughts on the incredible journey of the Ottomans, from nomadic tribes to conquerors. We'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring the echoes of history. Thanks for watching.